I'm going to go with a pure body weight approach when it comes to my training from here on out. And this is something that I'm saying out loud and putting onto my channel. So now I'll be able to better hold myself accountable. Instead of starting something and then kind of reconsidering it. I want to, in a way, challenge myself to do just purely body weight movements, using whatever calisthenics equipment that I'll be using to build my body and to build my strength. Now, I don't necessarily care about building a massive amount of strength, but I do care about building muscle, and I do care about my own health. So I think just trying to only use my body weight will be a much more creative way to in a way go about building muscle, to go with hypertrophy. Since I won't be using weight, I won't have access to a good amount of exercises, so I'll have to be very creative in what exercises I can do. I'll probably have to do a lot more research into like how I can hit certain muscle groups that usually can't be trained with calisthenics. Maybe down the line I might end up creating my own exercises. We'll see. I'm not going to knock down or criticize like weighted calisthenics. I think weighted calisthenics has its benefits and it's very useful for when it comes to building strength and muscle. But for the most part, you use weighted calisthenics with bigger compound movements like push-ups or dips or pull-ups, or maybe even like a handstand push-up if you're that strong. I do have certain, I'd say, goals in mind, more specifically when it comes to reps, especially with pull-ups and push-ups. I want to get really good quality reps with my pull-ups and push-ups, specifically my pull-ups, getting like arch back chest to bar pull-ups. I want to master that movement. I think just going with my body weight is a good way to master that movement. In general, I just like training, without weighted pull-ups or having weight around my waist, because I don't feel as like slow and sluggish. Of course, I feel heavy. I kind of don't like that, but I know that's like the whole point. But I just like being able to just use my own body and, just see where that takes me. So, again, this is more of an experiment. I'll be doing this for as long as I possibly can until somehow I get no results, which I doubt. I doubt I'll plateau at some point. So this is just my own personal thing. I know people in the comments have recommended like you should do weighted pull-ups, things like that. There's a lot of good programs out there where they'll say, okay, you can progress to weighted pull-ups at this point, or weighted push-ups or weighted dips. But I'm personally not going to be interested in that type of stuff, because for the most part, whenever I use weight, I always have my ego going off. Whenever I use weight, just with any movement whatsoever, with squats, RDLs, overhead pressing, maybe not bicep curls or anything like that, or maybe sometimes maybe like bicep curls or whatever, my ego will get in the way, and I'm just like, I couldn't do that, I couldn't do this, and then I'll try and push it, and then I might injure myself. Same thing, it could be the same case even with weighted, right? When I do weighted pull-ups, I tend to compromise my form, and I don't like the fact that I compromise my form. And the only reason why I do that is because my ego is getting in the way. Same thing with push-ups, where I start to have my hips dragged down instead of keeping them up. So just, sticking to my body weight is also a good way to keep my ego in check. And of course, with these exercises, I'll always be able to maintain my own, I'd say, composition. Well, of course, I want to get bigger. That's the whole point of this as well. But as in, I won't go so far to the point to where I'm struggling to do like 10 push-ups or anything like that, right? Unless I'm really tired. And so what I'm really trying to say is I'm less likely to get fat. Let's say maybe if I only ever lifted weights and I was eating like a lot more, then I would have a very easier time getting big, getting fat specifically, like getting a lot more fat than I would muscle. And I feel like calisthenics allows me to keep that in check. I think bulking with calisthenics as well is pretty beneficial, because since a lot of the movements you are doing requires like a lot more strength from your entire body, especially like your core and your hips and stuff like that, then you're gonna tend to just yield more benefits, in my opinion. But back to the main point, I will be sticking purely to body weight exercises. I will not be adding weight, like a weight vest or a weight belt and some plates, and nothing like that. Unless I'm working out with shoes, unless you want to count that with weight, and unless you want to count my clothes as weight, then sure, yes, that's weight. But I'm going to be sticking purely to just body weight calisthenics movements. No added weight. And I'll just be seeing how it goes from there, and you guys will see that as well. But yeah, that's about all I have to say at the moment. See you guys in the next video. And I am done, bro. This headache, I just had a freaking headache this entire time. Hopefully it doesn't really show up through the workout, but yeah.